All right, good evening, everyone. It is Monday, September 5th, Labor Day, and we are here on the MMAOB Daily Podcast to break down UFC 279, Chimaev versus Diaz. Marcel, I'm looking forward to this card. Main event, I mean, let's be honest, it's not the most intriguing fight because I think a lot of us know who's going to win the fight, but overall, not a bad card. Marcel, how are you feeling, man? And you excited about this card?
Yeah, man, I'm always excited about MMA. You know that. So yeah, I may be a bad guy to ask, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think there are also some fights on the prelims I really like. So that's always good. Sometimes you have those pay-per-views where you're like, those prelims actually kind of suck. You know, it's not really good. But you're here, you have like guys like Hakeem Dawodu, Jailton, Almeida on the prelims. So it's fun. You know. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think thank God they put some extra fights on this card because the card looked really weak
Yeah.
before. So yeah, let's see what happens, and looking forward to break it down what you do.
Yeah, they beefed it up, right? That's for sure. They needed to because let's be honest, it wasn't the best looking card before they were able to add those last couple of fights to it. And I'll be honest, one of those fights, the late editions, looks like kind of a mismatch. The other one is competitive, but I think one of them is a mismatch. Anyways, I'm looking forward to breaking down this card with you, man. I say let's get into it. So we're going to use the UFCstats.com about order. Note that Shamil Abdurakhimov is still listed, but he's off the card. He's fighting Jailton is fighting Anton Turkalj now. Pleasure man. He's a short notice guy from Contender Series, so something to keep in mind there. He had a really bad fight that Dana White hated, but they signed him anyways. Another guy they signed from the show, but you just have to win this year and you get on. What's up, Joe? He says it's a good card. Yeah, I think it's decent. Again, the main event's not the best fight, let's be honest, guys, but overall, I mean, I think there's some really competitive fights in this card. So I'm looking forward to getting in all these fights with you, man. I always look forward to our Monday night breakdowns, Marcel. It's always a lot of fun. So I say let's get right into it, guys. We'll start with the UFC 279 prelims and work our way to the main card. First fight of the night, we got Darian Weeks taking on Yohan Lainesse at welterweight. This is a fun fight between two guys that definitely will probably stand in trade, I would assume, in this fight. Right now, the odds for this one, Marcel, they are very competitive. Some of the closest fights in odds on the card, minus 125 Darian Weeks, plus 105 Yohan Lainesse. Your thoughts?
I fucking hate this fight to pick. You know, this is one of the most difficult fight to pick on the card, in my opinion. Johan Lainesse, I think he looked decent, man, against Gabe Green, but then he got caught, you know, and his cardio is not that amazing, you know, let's put it that way. Darian Weeks, still waiting on his first win in the UFC. He lost to Brian Barberina, which was a pretty competitive fight, but he lost the fight, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ian Gary fight, I think he didn't look bad, but Ian Gary won the fight. Um, I gotta feel like I think if it goes to if it goes to distance, I feel like I gotta pick Weeks here. You know, I think he can do damage here. I think he's also it might be his ground game can be a thing here. You know, but I expect a lot of striking actually. Lainesse can knock him out. I think he has the power, but my lead is going to Darian Weeks for a decision in this one.
Yeah, Lainesse has got big power. We saw that in his debut against Gabe Green, dropped him, right? And I remember picking him in that fight. I'm like, okay, come on, let's go. And then he gets exhausted and finished himself.
Yeah.
That cardio is scary to me, Marcel. And that fight was only
Exactly.
five months ago. Like, it didn't give him a lot of time to like really get back in the gym and really prepare for his next fight, in my opinion, in the UFC. The guy's got the skill, he's got the power, he's got decent grappling too. Like, he's overall a good fighter. Like, I think he showed that in the Green fight, but the cardio is such a concern for me at this point. Like, and Darian Weeks, we know, can go 1,500 minutes. He's very durable. He hasn't been finished in his first two fights by really tough dudes. And the fact he went to distance with those guys is pretty impressive to me, to be honest with you. I hate picking against the Canadian guy, but I have to. I can't pick him with the cardio that I saw in that first fight. So Lainesse has got a puncher's chance here. There's no doubt about that. But I think if he doesn't land that kill shot, he's going to lose a decision. So maybe even a third round stoppage. It wouldn't surprise me because he just got so tired in that last fight. It was like, wow, you know. So Darian Weeks, Marcel, decision or third round stoppage is the way I'm leading in this fight.
It's actually crazy that this was one. This is probably one of the fights I'm not sure about, and you actually gave the same read as I did.
Yeah, and again, I really like Yohan, and he looked great on Contender Series in his first round of the UFC. But again, that second round was just not good, so kind of scares me. All right, let's get to the next fight here, guys. We got Elise Reed against Melissa Martinez. Super Melly. See, I thought it said Super Smelly when I saw the nickname. I was like, geez, like she's actually gonna go with that nickname, but it's Super Melly. Melissa Martinez coming here from Kabache. She is minus 155 favorite. Elise Reed plus 135. She hasn't looked very good in the UFC. Give me your thoughts, Marcel. We've got Super Smelly and Elise Reed. No, I'm kidding. It's Super Melly.
You go first.
Yeah, Marcel's dying here. All right, so yeah. Okay, I'll start with Reed. I think she's looked pretty bad in the UFC, to be honest with you. She got destroyed by Eubanks, up a weight class, so we'll give her a bit of credit for that because she's fighting such a huge girl. Corey McKenna fight, she won the decision. I guess she won the fight, but it was a horrible fight and really like nothing impressive at all. Then the last fight gets destroyed by Sam Hughes in the third round, just destroyed. So 2 of her 3 fights, she got basically mounted and finished. The other fight, she won a close decision. I'm just not impressed at all. I got to be honest. I'm not impressed at all with her. Melissa Martinez, we got Super Melly here. Getting her right now. So I honestly never heard of her before this. I guess she got signed to the UFC.
But you knew she was super smelly.
Yeah, because of her nickname. So watch her fights. Okay, so like obviously she's been a pro for a little while now. Some really nasty head kick knockouts. She's got some power, but this last fight she had with Desiree Yanez, this was on the prelims of the Tito Alberto card, Tito Ortiz and Alberto Del Rio in Combate. It was 3 years ago. She hasn't fought in 3 years. You got to keep that in mind. It was a very competitive fight. I don't really know if she actually should have won that fight. I'll be honest with you guys. I think she could have lost that fight on the scorecards. Regardless, she's undefeated. The UFC signed her at 7-0. And she has a winnable fight against one of the worst fighters in the weight class, in my opinion, in the UFC. But I'm still not super confident in her, Marcel, because honestly, I thought she looked really bad in her last fight. She got controlled in the ground. Just I'm not sure if Reed's the kind of girl that can control her with the grappling. So there's a lot of fights I think Melissa's going to lose in the UFC. I don't know if it's this one. Wouldn't surprise me. I'm staying the hell away from this fight. She's going to be my pick here because she is undefeated and she does have the striking advantage, in my opinion, with the power. But, you know, Reed's got some experience down in the UFC, and it wouldn't completely shock me if she was able to grind it out, especially with, again, 3-year layoff. I'm sure this girl's been getting better. She's very young. She's only 25. So that's kind of interesting. From 22 to 25, didn't actually fight. That's interesting. You'd think she'd come out here even better than ever, but until I see it, I can't put actual money on her. So my picks, Melissa Martinez is my pick. Marcel Super Melly by decision, but it's just not one I definitely want to be putting money on. Any thoughts?
I feel the same way, man. It's difficult to say because she hasn't fought for so long, you know. I think what I saw from her was impressive. The Desiree Yanez fight was close indeed. Also went to a split decision, I think, right?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. And Elise Reed, yeah, she got the win over Corey McKenna, but that was because Corey McKenna had a very bad fight IQ in that fight, I think. You know, yeah, I'm not going to pick Elise Reed here. I'm going with Super Smelly, Melissa Martinez. And, yeah, probably a decision win here, I think. And thanks to you, I now think Super Smelly the whole damn time.
I'm not the only person that's going to get this wrong because I look at him like it's Super Melly. Glenn says he likes Reed for competition and Doctor Jitters. I think that's fair, Reed. Glenn, excuse me, Glenn. Called him Reed. I don't know why I called you Reed. Oh, at least Reed. We know we're in the second hour of the podcast when that happens. I think we have the same Reed, but again, I don't really trust this girl after that last fight. She just didn't look good at all, and hasn't fought for years. So
we have the same Reed about Reed.
Yeah, we have the same Reed on Reed and about Smelly. Yeah. All right, let's get to the next one here. Marcel's dying here. Let's get to the next fight here. Chad Anheliger, the Canadian. Another Canadian. We got the Canadians on this card. This is awesome. Yeah. Taking on an Alatengheili. So the odds are interesting for this fight because when I first saw it, remember I posted them in the Discord chat. It was like minus 400 Anheliger. Alatengheili was like plus 300. I think that was a mistake because they re-released them, and now Alateng is the favorite. And now he is minus he's minus 170 and Anheliger plus 145. So again, I remember seeing those odds. I'm like plus 300 Alateng. I'm definitely betting on this guy, but the odds were obviously wrong. So Alateng is the favorite in this fight. Give me your thoughts on this one, Marcel. It's a very competitive fight.
Yeah, man. I want to first talk about Chad Anheliger. He got a win before coming to the UFC against Brady Highstand, the guy who went in the Ultimate Fighter finale against Ricky Turcios. Mm-hmm. The fight against Muin Gafurov, man, was super close, and he could have lost that fight as well, but he got signed off it. So yep. I was actually surprised he got signed off it, but still, the Jesse Strader fight, man, he didn't look good in the first round, if I can remember correctly. And after that, he took over. And I think actually Jesse looked kind of better in the third round, and then he pretty much stopped him, which was a really good win for Chad Anheliger in his UFC debut. With Hanley Alateng, I gotta say, man, what I saw so far from him, he looked pretty good, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think the Kevin Kroon fight, it was a great knockout, obviously. He got one loss in the UFC, was against Casey Kenny. And the dude has an iron chin, it's crazy, pretty much. So does Chad Anheliger get him out of there? I don't think he can, But Alateng can't stop Chad Anheliger, in my opinion, I think that's a possibility. I'm leaning towards Hanley Alateng, but I'm not convinced. I'm going with a decision win, but I'm not convinced.
I actually feel the same way. That's how I feel with this fight. I think it's tough to call. Because Chad is really improved. Like, getting his career, guys, he sucked. Let's be honest. He was terrible. And I think a lot of fighters and just people in general, when you're not successful, because he was 0-2 to start his career, right? And at one point was 2-5. I think any job you do, when you're not having success like that, you probably pack it up and do something else.
Mm-hmm.
What he did was take 2 years off, get better, and since then he hasn't lost. So the guy is a warrior. I mean, he's won 10 straight fights. It's impressive. It's very impressive, and a lot of them by knockout too. He's got power. He's pretty good. He's not bad. But the problem is, again, he's 35 now because he took so long to get here. He's 35 now. He's making his run. He looked okay in the Strader fight. I mean, it was competitive until he knocked him out. It was very close up to that knockout. And like Gaffroff fight too. High stand wins really. I think that might be his best win, to be honest. He has some good wins over Canadian guys that I recognize. But again, now he's in the UFC fighting better competition. And he struggled with Strader. Now he's fighting Hanley Alateng, who's got 5 fights in the UFC, who's shown some good skill, good striking, good power, decent grappling too. I think it's a competitive fight. I definitely think that Chad's got a puncher's chance because Hanley actually has been knocked out a couple times. So I think he's got that puncher's chance, but I still got to go with the guy with all the experience in the UFC at this point. And the guy who I feel is a little bit more well-rounded and dangerous, a little bit younger too. I feel like there's quite a few edges here for Hanley Alateng. But again, Chad's on a nice win streak with a lot of power. So he could come in here and play spoiler, but I'm leaning towards Alatengheili. And I would have loved to give him a plus 300 like those odds were when he dropped. I don't know what those were, but he's the favorite here. I favor him slightly. I think the odds are pretty much exactly what they should be. He should be the slight favorite. Although sub losses to Chad, Hanley's no sub wins. Yeah, that's something else to keep in mind, right? He's going to have to either knock him out or decision him, which I think is possible, but he also could get caught with a big punch because Chad's got a lot of power, man. For a guy that is a bantamweight, you don't expect it really from him. He's got power. Next fight here, Norma Dumont taking on Danyelle Wolf in the women's featherweight division. Rare women's featherweight. Well, I guess we had them last week, right? But this is a real legit one. Norma Dumont minus 340, Danyelle Wolf plus 280. I'll start this one off, Marcel. I really like Norma in this fight. If she loses, she has to be cut immediately. She 100% needs to win this fight and should win this fight against an opponent with one MMA fight. And quite frankly, I thought Danyelle Wolf looked pretty bad in her fight in the Contender Series. She did not look very good at all, and she got signed because this division's so bad that they need to sign anyone they can find at this point. She obviously has some boxing skills. We know that. But she's 39 years old. She's pretty old. She has no experience in the sport. She's fighting Norma, who's pretty tough, man. I mean, I know she lost her last fight against Macy, but it was a competitive split decision, and she had won 3 straight before that and was showing off some good skills everywhere. Good grappling, good striking too. So I think Norma Dumont should absolutely win this fight. And if she doesn't, Marcel, that just says a lot about her because she's fighting someone with no experience. She should 100% win this fight. I'm going Norma Dumont by decision because that's how she wins her fights. And I think she gets the job done. I know the odds are high, but I feel like she should be a big favorite in this fight. What do you think?
Norma should retire if she loses, man.
Yeah, I agree completely. She has to win this fight. Yeah.
I'm going with a second round submission rear naked choke for Norma Dumont.
It wouldn't surprise me because that's one of her better skills, and she has been fighting good, girls with really good ground games lately, like Spencer, Ladd, Chiason. This is a fighter she could take down probably. I think a submission actually is a pretty good bet. Let me take a look at what that would be. There's no odds on that yet. That's interesting. So just a finish is plus money though in that fight. So yeah, I always lean towards decisions in these type of fights, but I think it's a possibility she could submit her too. It'd be a big win for her if she could submit her. All right, let's get to the next fight here, Marcel. We got Jay Collier taking on Chris Barnett. Two big boys here that probably shouldn't be fighting at heavyweight. They should probably both be at 205 or middleweight. But minus 360 Collier, plus 295 Chris Barnett. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this one is pretty easy in my opinion. You know, I think Chris Barnett is a real fun fighter, and I like him a lot. But I think Jay Collier is a much more diverse fighter, much more complete in my opinion. Listen, Barnett is more spectacular, but I think Jay Collier is way more skilled in my opinion. I feel like Jay Collier got robbed in this last fight against Andrei Arlovski.
100%.
I think he wins this one. I don't know where to start. Yeah, I would go submission win in the second round for Jay Collier.
I think he wins too. I mean, the odds are high, but he's really good. And I'm just honestly not too impressed by Chris Barnett. I know he's been going through a lot. I believe his wife died, I think, like right before the fight with Boudet, which is hard for anyone. You can give him a pass on that, but you know, I don't know, man. He's a good athlete. I just think he's in the wrong weight class, Marcel. I really do. He's so much smaller than Collier. It's a big size difference, guys. You got 6 inches of height and a couple inches of reach as well. Barnett's, like I said, a good athlete. I just think he needs to, watch his diet and move down in weight. In my opinion, you have a lot more success fighting at a lower weight class. That's in my opinion. Collier should win this fight. He's the better fighter. He's better on the ground for sure. The striking, it should be competitive because Barnett's got good striking, but I still think Collier could pressure him forward, push him against the fence more. And also Collier, you look at his record, it's win-loss, getting back to the last 8 years. He's due for a win, according to the streak. Jay Collier wins. I lean decision a little bit, but I think a submission, again, is possible too. So, and yeah, it's something I just looked at as well, Glenn. It's always something to keep in mind. Jay Collier is my pick in this one. I mean, I think we both have the same pick in that fight. All right, let's get to the next one here. We got Jamie Pickett taking on Denis Tiuliulin. I feel like we broke this down a few months ago and it got rescheduled. Right now, we got Pickett minus 130, Tiuliulin plus 110. What do you think?
You go first in this one.
I still feel the same way as I did, I think, when we talked about 2 or 3 months ago. It's kind of a tricky fight to call because, honestly, Jamie Pickett's just not that good, right? But Tiuliulin, he's been submitted in his first fight. He's been submitted a lot in his career. He's got good striking. We know that he trains with good training partners like Strickland, etc. But Pickett's got more experience in the UFC. He actually has wins in the octagon. And I think his grappling is good enough that he can make he can get some takedowns in this fight and make Pickett work or Tiuliulin work on the ground, which is where his weak spot is. I'm going Jamie Pickett by decision, but again, I'm not confident in him. He's never a guy I want to put money on personally, but I would lean towards Pickett by decision. What do you think?
Yeah, it makes the most sense. I also think that Pickett can get into the ground and maybe ground out the decision. Makes the most sense, and I'm also on Pickett's side for the decision.
Well, we got the same pick in that one. All right, let's get to the next fight here. We got Jailton Almeida taking on Anton Turkalj, and Turkalj coming on short notice for Shamil Abdurakhimov. I love that fight for Jailton. I thought he would have definitely knocked Shamil out. Now he's fighting Turkalj, who's got undefeated guy with the great ground game. Odds on this one, minus 660 for Jailton, plus 490 Turkalj. What are your thoughts on this one?
I wasn't impressed with Turkalj at all. He talked a big game, but I wasn't impressed by him at all in the contender series. Almeida, I'm really high on Almeida, as you know. I think Jailton Almeida is really good. I'm fighting at 220, more to his natural weight class of 205. Yeah, I think Turkalj's ground game isn't bad, but I still think Almeida will dominate, and I think he gets a finish as well. I'm going with the knockout TKO ground and pound for Jailton Almeida here.
I mean, how do you not pick Jailton, right? Like, you have to. The guy has looked amazing in the UFC. I think it's, even though the guy's not ranked, I feel like this is kind of a trickier fight. And I said heavyweight. I should say catchweight, right? It's 220 pounds this fight. That's something to keep in mind because Jailton is going to be capped at what he can weigh, and Anton fights at 205 normally. I think the Anton guy, he can win fights in the UFC. I'll say that right now because he got the grappling and the wrestling. It won't be pretty, though. It'll be boring to watch when he does win his fights. He's probably the only guy willing to even take this fight with Jailton. Because Marcel, if you're a UFC heavyweight, would you want to fight Jailton Almeida? I would. No. I'd stay the fuck away from this dude. He's a monster. Jailton wins. Jailton definitely wins this fight, in my opinion. Odds are high, but I think the way to go is inside the distance. I think he finishes the fight. You said submission or ground and pound? What did you say?
TKO ground and pound.
That's what I think too. I think Remember that fight with gosh, what was it again? Danilo Marquez.
Or yeah. So,
yeah. But I feel like it's the same fight, right? Like I feel like it's very similar. Jailton Almeida wins. Odds are high, but he should win this fight.
Yeah.
Go to the next one, guys. Hakeem Dawodu taking on Julian Erosa, UFC featherweight division. This is definitely one of the contenders, I think, for fight of the night in this card. It's a fun fight on paper. Hakeem Dawodu minus 215, plus 185 Erosa. Another Canadian, Marcel. What the hell? 3 Canadians on this card. Awesome. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I got to go back to that crazy fight with Erosa and Steven Peterson earlier this year.
Oh, what a fight!
Yeah, I think I had it for Peterson, but it was super close. So I don't have any problem with it. Erosa got that big win over Charles Jourdain before that. Maybe not so big anymore after last weekend, but still, it's a big win in my opinion. He got that finish in the fight that Jourdain looked pretty good early in the fight. I think first 2 rounds. The thing is with Erosa, man. I know he won four of his last 5 fights in the UFC, but still, I feel like he's not consistent, and that's maybe weird to say. But that Sung with Choi fight didn't look good to me. The Sean Woodson fight was a comeback win. The Peterson fight was just split decision, so it's really difficult. If you look at Hakeem Dawodu only lost 2 fights in his UFC career. Against Evloev was pretty obvious. Henry stopped him with a submission, but he also got a win over Zubaira Tuhugov in a fight I actually think Zubaira should have won. But okay, the Trezanov win last time, it wasn't spectacular, but it's very. It was enough when he did. It was decent. He was busy. He was pushing forward, and he did look good. And I think that Erosa also can fight him, but I see still much more talent in Dawodu. I think Dawodu can get in that top 15 and can do something. I think Erosa maybe hit his, his stop here, in my opinion, And I'm going for Dawodu in this fight. I don't think it will be a stoppage. I think Dawodu takes it smart again and wins the decision. But I expect a fun fight, but I'm going with Dawodu. So I'm going with your countryman, Adam.
I think he wins too. I think he can knock him out. I really do. Obviously, Erosa's a pretty good fighter, but I think he's shown that his chin is not great throughout the years. Sure. He's been knocked out a bunch of times. This is a good fight for Dawodu to get another win, I think. The guy's really good. I think he can knock him out. If not, he wins a decision, but I think he wins for sure. I really like him in this fight too. Just a better striker, in my opinion. I think he can keep it standing. Erosa's obviously dangerous on the ground with his submissions, but I think he keeps it standing, Marcel, and I think he can knock him out. If not, like I said, win on points. So I like him quite a bit here. By the way, is Anton Turkalj. What's with his Instagram? We're looking at Alcohol Addiction Treatment Center. What's with that? You see that?
What the? Huh? No,
what was Instagram? It says you follow him, so I'm just confused. Like, what he means by that? Like, is he just joking or something? This guy's Instagram is kind of just like more focused on like what he looks like than his. Did you see how
what the? Yeah, what the hell? No idea.
Maybe someone hacked him or something. That's kind of weird. That's very strange. All right, let's get to the next fight, guys. Oh, TKO or sub all 16 wins by finish. Some with Jailton, right? I think, right? Yeah. Jailton, I think he finishes for sure in that fight. All right, let's get to the next one here. We got the first fight in the main card, guys. Johnny Walker taking on Ion Cutelaba. So awesome fight here in the UFC light heavyweight division. How do you not love this fight? This is a great fight. Great fight to open up the card, in my opinion, because I think someone's probably going to get stopped in this fight. Odds, Ion Cutelaba, minus 200, Johnny Walker, plus 170. What do you think about the fight, man? What do you think of those odds?
Yeah, man, this is the BOTB fight, right? Battle of the Brain Dads. Yeah, this is a crazy fight, you know already. Johnny Walker, a little bit different approach lately to his fights, and he went to SBG Ireland. Don't think that would be the best thing for him, but he did. Looked kind of horrible, dude, against Jamal Hill. Didn't look good before against Thiago Santos. The only fight he won recently is the fight against Ryan Spann, and there was also a fight where he got knocked down twice and where he pretty much won with illegal shots to the back of the head. Ion Cutelaba, finally we saw in this, not this last fight, the fight before, that he could be in a third round fight and still look good in the third round as he looked in the first round, Got caught against Ryan Spann in the submission. Can happen, The thing is, I don't trust Johnny Walker anymore. I think his chin isn't good anymore. He's very tentative how he fights lately. And Ion Cutelaba will go full blast again in the first round because he smells blood and he knows if he wins, he's in the rankings. So he will go forward. I expect Cutelaba to knock him out in the first round, to be honest.
I think someone's getting knocked out either way here. I gotta be honest, so I'm actually looking at Johnny Walker as a dog in this fight. I don't think I've picked any dogs in this card, and this is one I'm looking at. I know, right? It's hard to trust this guy. Like he hasn't looked good. There's no doubt about it. But he's been fighting elite competition, man. Fought Jamal Hill, Thiago Santos was a competitive fight. Krylov is really good. Corey Anderson's really good. I mean, these are not bad losses, really. Looking back at them, like they're good losses to have. I think you can say the same with Cutelaba. I mean, lost to Ankalaev twice, Glover, Ryan Spann. They're not bad losses either. I still think he can get knocked out, though, man. He's been knocked out before, and I think Walker can get it done here. It's just, I don't have a ton of faith in Johnny Walker at this point, but I do think this fight's a coin flip. Plus 170 and a guy who's a lot taller and longer, who has knockout power. I think he can get the job done here. I'm not confident by any means, but there's going to be some underdogs that win this card. And this is one I think has a path with the knockouts. So I think he can knock him out. That's my pick. Go ahead.
I'd say Dogger pass in this fight,
Yeah, I know he's looked so bad lately. It's just hard to trust the guy, right? That's the thing. But I do think he's got another winning left in him. I really do. And I think this could be the fight against Ion, who it's hard to trust too. Both guys are very inconsistent.
Yeah, very inconsistent. That's the thing. Yeah, I agree fully with you.
Yeah, they're both.
I still feel more comfortable picking Cutelaba here, but I can see you go with Johnny Walker's way.
Walker's 1-4 in his last fight, and Cutelaba's 1-3-1 in his last fight.
Yeah,
so, exactly. Pick your poison, right?
Yeah,
and they've been fighting good guys. We'll give him credit on that. Cutelaba, if he gets him down to the ground, I think he's got the best chance to victory. Because I think on the feet, Walker's going to give him problems, in my opinion. We'll see if he's still that same guy, though. It doesn't seem like it, right? Yeah. So that guy from 3 years ago was knocking everyone out in crazy fashion. Like that was an amazing fighter. And this new guy is not as good as he used to be. So I'm picking him, Marcel, but it's just not a super confident pick. But again, some underdogs are going to win, and this guy's got a path. Sure. All right, let's get to the next one here. We got Irene Aldana against Macy Chasson in the UFC women's bantamweight division. I really hope both girls make weight. They both obviously missed weight in the past. Right now, with the odds for this one, Aldana minus 175, Chasson plus 150. What do you think?
I feel like Aldana gets punished for not making weight last time that she has to fight Macy Chasson here. Because I feel like Chasson, I know she won her last fight against Norma Dumont, split decision, but wasn't a great fight. Aldana won against Kunitskaya, missed weight in that fight. Still, the thing is with Irene Aldana, I always thought like she might be a good fighter, but I didn't saw her getting into the top 5. And then she knocked out Katlyn Vieira very viciously, remember? And I was like, okay, maybe I was wrong, That she's fighting Holly Holm and got completely dominated at the striking department. Got the win over Kunitskaya for Chasson. I think Chasson, she got that big hype behind her after winning the Ultimate Fighter and getting the 2 wins via stoppage. And then she lost to Lena Landsberg, where everybody was like, okay, weird. Thing is, I feel like Aldana has more experience here. I expect her to. I honestly expect a lot of a standing fight, to be honest, and I think Aldana's more clean with her striking, and I expect Aldana to win the decision here.
I think so too. I also think she has a chance to knock her out. I mean, she's got a lot of power. Macy's, I don't think, has never been knocked out, right? But Irene, her last couple of wins are by knockout, so it's possible she could drop her and finish her. I lean a decision though too. That's kind of my pick. I do feel like that she's the better fighter here. I just hope she makes the weight, because if she makes the weight and wins the fight, it puts her in a good spot at 135. Potentially could get the next title shot. I think there's a chance, especially if she knocks her out. That would say a lot, right? So, because remember, she actually knocked out Katlyn Vieira, who everyone's talking about now as a contender, right? I was actually at that card. So this girl's got power, but again, hasn't fought much since then. Basically fights once a year now, the last couple of years. So she needs to stay active. She needs to make her weight and needs to get the win here. And I think she can get the job done. So Irene Aldana is my pick as well. Let's get to the next fight here. Oh, let's get this question. Hey, what's up, Sign Collectibles? Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Possible. If Aldana wins and she get Amanda, I think it's a very good chance, right? Because there's not many fighters. There's Vieira and her. And then you have rematches or trilogies with Valentina and some other girls. So, yeah. Let's get to the next fight here. Kevin Holland taking on Daniel Rodriguez. Another fight that was allowed late notice. So it's a catch weight, 180 pounds for this fight. Odds right now, Kevin Holland minus 200, Rodriguez plus 170. What do you think, Marcel? Big Mouth or D-Rod? Who's your pick?
I think the odds are off, to be really honest. D-Rod could have been still undefeated in the UFC. I think the Nicholas Dalby fight was super close, could have won this away. Kevin Holland, I know he looked good in his fight against Tim Means. The Alex Oliveira fight before that didn't look good in the first round, came back second round. I understand he's the favorite by many people. I think many people bank on Kevin Holland winning here. Daniel Rodriguez, one of the most underrated guys in the division, I think. And I feel like Daniel Rodriguez can win this fight. And definitely, I think his ground game is better than Kevin Holland's ground game, in my opinion. I don't know, Kevin Holland recently got the submission and he's training his wrestling, but still, man, I feel Rodriguez can win this fight. And when this fight was made, many people were like, "Oh, Holland's gonna knock him out." I think Rodriguez is too tough. I think Rodriguez wins a unanimous decision here, man.
You're picking Rodriguez?
Yeah, D-Rod.
I'm with you. So there's another dog. And we have a consensus dog here, guys, which is interesting because we mostly only picked the favorites up to this point. I think this fight is, again, a kind of a coin flip. If anything, I'd favor D-Rod. I think he's so underrated. Both guys are great. Like, they're both awesome fighters, but you're right. Like, if you look at D-Rod's career, the Dalby fight, he should have won that fight. I think we all think that. And then he has one other loss by split decision, too. Like, he hasn't really been beaten that bad. You know what I mean? Like, he's never been knocked out or been finished. And we know he's got amazing takedown defense, great striking, crazy volume. He's landing over 8 strikes a minute here. Holland's obviously got some advantage in this fight. He's a little bit younger. He's a little bit longer with the reach. He's obviously got power. He's got submissions. I think if the fight goes to the ground and they're playing on the ground, then Holland's going to have a big advantage. But I feel like it's a stand-up fight. I really do. And I think Rodriguez is going to cause a lot of problems for Kevin Holland, especially with just the volume striking here. He lands over 8 strikes per minute, like I mentioned, compared to just 3.9 for Holland, which isn't bad by any means. Holland's is like average volume, but this is like elite volume. Like I think he's got like the most strikes landed per minute in the UFC right now for a guy with that many fights. I think this fight is very close, but I do lean towards D-Rod to win the fight. So we have a consensus dog. I think the odds are way off. Plus 170 is some. I picked Walker too, but I'm more confident in D-Rod as a dog, if that makes sense. So he's a guy that I'll be placing some money on this weekend. I think he wins the fight, guys. Joe, our boy, likes Holland, which I don't blame you. I mean, Holland's great, right? And he's looked awesome for the most part, especially at 170. But again, I think the guy he's fighting is just really good. I think D-Rod's just so underrated. So it should be a competitive fight, Marcel, but I think he can win decision too. So I'm with you. And I'm curious what the odds are. We don't have them yet. Actually, we do. We do have odds. D-Rod by decision, plus 400. I mean, I think that's how he wins. So there's some value there for sure. Plus 400 or so. I mean, those are some good odds. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We got Li Jingliang taking on Tony Ferguson. UFC welterweight division. So Tony Ferguson moving up here, guys.
Yeah.
I want to say that Tony's fought at welterweight in his debut, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right? Let me see here against Ramsey. Yes, that was a welterweight fight.
Yeah.
So he hasn't fought at welterweight in a while, but he did once, and I remembered that. Well, okay, let me start this one off. Odds minus 300, Leach plus 250 on El Kukui. Obviously, you're going to pick Jingliang here, right? Like, I think you have to. It's hard to pick Tony based on his last couple of fights, coming off a horrible knockout loss, moving up in weight, fighting one of the biggest punchers in this division, a guy who's coming off a huge knockout win. It's just kind of a weird fight at short notice. I don't understand it from Tony's perspective. It's not like Lee's like a huge star. If it was like a big name or something, like I could understand why he'd want to take the fight, but he's fighting a guy who's not really a big name, yet he's super dangerous with his knockout power. And Tony's, again, getting a little bit up there in age, and he's getting a little chinny. How do you not pick Leach here by knockout? I'm picking the Leach by knockout. I mean, how can I not? I think he wins the fight. I think he's going to keep it on the feet and knock him out. So Tony's got to get the fight to the ground if he has a chance here. I don't think he will. I think he's going to struggle this weight class. And it's going to be his 5th straight loss. I think he gets knocked out. What do you think, man?
I have a first round knockout for Li Jingliang. I think he's too strong. He is bigger at welterweight, And listen, man, I got to say, Tony Ferguson did good in the first round against Michael Chandler. So, but it's a different weight class, man. Different guy. I think much bigger guy than him. Listen, he has to take it to the ground. If he can't get it to the ground, I think he's fucked. So, yeah, first round knockout for Li Jingliang for me as well. So, yeah.
We have the same pick in this one. Again, I think the size is going to be a factor in this fight. You have a legitimate welterweight team guy who's moving up to welterweight. We really don't know how he's going to perform there yet. All right, speaking about the welterweights, we go to the main event here, and we have Nate Diaz taking on Khamzat Chimaev, and obviously the odds guys are, as you know, they're pretty crazy. Right now we have, let me double check this. Well, yesterday I looked, he was minus 1150. What is he now? Oh well, I mean it's still about that. Some books have it a little bit lower, but let's just say minus 1200 on Khamzat, plus 775 on Nate Diaz here. I mean, guys, is there a lot to break down here? I don't think so. I'm not trying to discredit Nate because he is a legend. Love the guy, and if you beat him, you get a title shot. Because like you look who he lost to: Edwards, Masvidal, McGregor. Like not bad, like losses by any means. But again, getting way up there, and he's 37, and his takedown defense is just 41%. He's taking on probably the best wrestler in this division, besides maybe Usman, a guy who's way younger, a guy whose cardio is through the roof too, who matches him in that department, a guy who's just looked amazing in the UFC. You have to pick Khamzat in this fight. I think he finishes. I think that's the way to look at it, though. Again, when these big favorites, there's still value on them if you can look at for a prop. In this case, I think he finishes him. So I'm looking at that Khamzat by a TKO. I think he cuts him open and finishes him. That's actually it depends on the book. But I'm looking at, there's one book with plus 115 at FanDuel. I think he finishes him by stoppage. I think he can cut him open and the fight's going to get stopped by the doctor. So there's still value you can find, guys, on favorites. I think Khamzat inside the distance is the way to go here. It's only minus 400 compared to minus 1,200 on the money line. I don't think Nate's going to be able to survive the 25 minutes in this fight. Nate's a great fighter, but I think the scar tissue will bust open and the blood's going to start pooling. And just like that fight in New York with Masvidal, where they stopped it. Yeah, this is 3 years later. He's probably got even more scar tissue. It might have by ground and pound TKO in the second or third round. Nate's tough enough to last a round or two, I think, but he gets finished eventually. What do you think, Ben?
Bro, imagine Nate pulling it off. UFC's going to go nuts.
I'd be surprised. I'd be very surprised.
Me too.
I really would be. It'd be like, wouldn't it be like one of the biggest upsets of all time if he won?
I think it would. Yeah, it would. But yeah, I also think the same. I think Chimaev gets him to the ground. First round TKO, actually. I think.
Oh, wow, okay.
And that's no disrespect to Nate, but I just think he gets the ground and pound TKO. He just keeps punching, and at a certain moment, referee has to intervene. So that's what I expect. And yeah.
I don't
see a way for Diaz to win the fight, to be really honest. See,
Joe's saying submission. I think there's a chance, but Nate's pretty difficult to submit. Like,
yeah,
it's been a while, right?
I think if you're in the ground in the position on the ground with him and you can land strikes, you'd rather go for the strikes than for the choke, right?
Nate's only been submitted by Hermes Franco, right? 16 years ago.
Yeah, and WEC, right?
Yeah. 16 years ago. I feel like a knockout, like with ground and pound, or I feel like that's the only way this fight goes. I'll be honest with you. Like, Nate's tough to sell, but eventually he's just fighting a guy with unlimited like gas tank. He's just gonna keep throwing the pressure on and eventually break him, in my opinion. I'm interested in what's next for Nate Diaz. I mean, we know Anderson Silva's fighting Jake Paul. If Jake Paul wins that fight, I think Nate Diaz would make a lot of sense for him, or even against Anderson. So I think he goes to boxing after this. That's what I think. But it'd be interesting. Let me get some comments, guys. The Khamzat Almeida parlay. I heard to see one losing. I think they all win. And I know Marcel does too because we just broke down the fights together. Anton, what's up, man? How was your guys' day and weekend? It was good. It's a holiday here, as you know. I think you're in the States. It's Labor Day. It was good, man. It was relaxing and doing the podcast. Almost done this one, but it was good. Thanks for asking, buddy. Diaz's last fight was you go elsewhere. His last fight in the UFC. I don't see him resigning. Even if he wins, I don't think they resign him. You agree? Nah,
man. I also don't think that Nate. I don't think Nate wants to stay in the UFC. I think he's happy to be a free agent after this. So I'll be highly surprised if he signs with the UFC again. Highly surprised.
Yeah. Over under is 1.5 rounds. I mean, I know Marcel said the under, and I think that chance ends in the first round, but I'm leaning the over because Nate's toughness and durability. I would actually lean the over a little bit, but I still think it's finished. I definitely don't see the fight going the distance. I just think, again, the blood will pool and the referee will stop. Yeah, I just saw you blinking. That's exactly what Nate's going to do. He's going to blink and the blood will stick in his eyes. Do you guys think Nate straight up retires on Saturday? And same question for Tony. I don't think either of them retire. They don't seem like the kind of guy that would retire in the cage. But
I think Nate's going to dispute the referee stoppage.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to freak out. And that's the thing. I almost feel like it's a best case scenario if the doctor stops it, like I'm thinking. because then he could be like, all right, I didn't actually lose. The doctor is the one that made me lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys think Tony Ferguson will be a Hall of Famer? Yes. I think he should be in it. You know, he's one of the best lightweights of all time, and he was an interim champ, actually, so he was a champion, technically. What's his ceiling at welterweight? Tony's, if he wins. Dude, if he goes over and beats Li Jingliang, that sets him up for a top 10 fight. That's
he's
a huge
top
win.
15 there, yeah.
It would be huge, right? He's ranked, right? I think he's in the top 10. Top
and
15?
lightweight, yeah.
Let me check.
Yeah, definitely. He's at welterweight rank.
14th. So
yeah, he got ranked after the win over Salikov.
So if he wins, he would take his spot in the top 15. So yeah, I mean, it'd be a big win. What's up, Andrew? How's it going, man? Hey guys, will you have to catch the rest of the pod on replay? No worries, dude. Just wondering if you guys think Nate fights under his own recent promotion. Oh, that's interesting. I was reading about that the other day. What do you think?
I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea. You know.
I think his brother Nick had a promotion too at some point.
Yeah.
He had there was a few events. What was it called again? War MMA or something, right? War MMA. Yeah, remember that?
Well. Yeah.
He never fought for them, but he wasn't a free agent. I think it's possible, but I would think that the most money, unless he like fights Jake Paul in his own promotion or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna look for a money fight, guys. I think he'll look for Jake Paul and Anderson Silva, someone like that.
Why not? You know?
Or do you think he would go to Bellator?
No. I definitely think he goes for the money fight, tries to get a boxing match.
He's 37, right? Like he's old, you know. I mean,
and if he goes to Bellator, he's also stuck with a contract with a company. So no, I don't think he will go.
Unless
I think he just wants to have one fight.
Yeah, no, you're right. So I think Khabib and Tony may never happen. They still want to coach the Ultimate Fighter, apparently. Hands out wins. Does he wait for the newspaper? Who's he fight next? He'd have to fight again. I think he would fight Colby. That's the fight I think they would do. Or Masvidal. I mean, if Masvidal's out there, or I mean, we know Gilbert Burns wants to fight him, but he hasn't really responded to those calls.
Masvidal doesn't take the Chimaev fight.
You don't think it's too dangerous for him, man? Yeah. But I mean, if the UFC's like, hey, if you beat him, you get another title shot. Right now, Masvidal's nuts if he thinks he's going to get a third title shot off of 2 straight losses. Like, it doesn't make sense. That would be horrible. Like, there's too many guys in this division now. The first time he took it on short notice, the second time you did him a favor. He took this fight on Fight Island on short notice. You gave him almost a favor. He got destroyed. Why would he get another title shot? He just lost the third fight to Colby. Mm-hmm. You can't give a guy 3 straight losses another title shot. I don't think. I want to say it's happened in the UFC before. I think they've did it to a guy with 3 straight losses, but it's rare. And it shouldn't happen, honestly.
Definitely not in the division where there are more contenders.
That's the thing. Like 20 years ago or something, it could happen, right? But there's too many guys now. So, anyways, I think that's it overall, Marcel. It should be a good card. I'm looking forward to talking about it with you. All right, before we get out of here, guys, we're going to do Being Weight Contender Series from this week. All the fighters made weight, which is awesome to see. They all stepped on with like the first 10 minutes, which was great to see. Let's go through this card really quick, Marcel. I'm going to pull it up here on Tapology, and we'll go through this card, guys. A bonus breakdown here for you guys on the MMAOB Daily Podcast. Let's start with this fight here. Teresa Bleda against Naira Maya. Odds for this one. Bleda minus 600, Maya plus 450. I mean, I guess Bleda, but those odds seem really high, right? Like minus 600. It's pretty high, isn't it?
Definitely, man. And for a women's fight, I'm never big on that high odds unless it's Valentina or Amanda Nunes, you know. So,
who's your pick?
Who's my pick? I'm not really good. I'm not really familiar with these girls, you know. Yep. But if I look at their records, obviously we take Bleda here. Yeah.
I guess. I mean, I just think the odds are ridiculous. Minus 600. Why is she minus 600? Like,
no idea.
I'll be honest. I haven't did the tape study on her. Maybe she's amazing on tape, and she is fighting in that Octagon promotion where Lucia Pudilova came from. So it's a good promotion in Czech Republic. It's a very good promotion, and she's fought some decent opposition. But again, I just think these odds seem extremely high. Like, they seem very high. I don't know a lot about either fighter, but I do think the odds are a little bit high for my liking. I'll pass on that one. Next fight here is Ismail Bonfim against Nariman Abasov. Odds on this one. Abasov is – or sorry, it's actually a pick 'em. It's minus 110 each, so it's a straight pick 'em. Abasov opened as the favorite, but now it's a pick 'em. So what do you think about this one?
Great fight, man. Looking forward to this one. My pick is Nariman Abasov in this one. I think Abasov is a good fighter, very well-rounded. Really like watching him fight. And, I'm definitely picking Abasov here, although I think Bonfim is a good fighter as well. Yeah,
me too. I'm just I guess I'm concerned a little bit about all the money that's coming on this guy. He's definitely good, but when I was looking at this one, I thought for sure this guy would be a big favorite. And he opened as the favorite. Now he's been bet down to a pick 'em. So it makes me wonder, what am I missing here? But I would lean towards Abasov too. And man, if you gave him a plus money, like there's some books out there. Well, he could end up as an underdog. That's surprising. I'm not gonna lie though. I mean, Contender Series is really hard to bet on right now. There's no doubt about it. Really pick your spots. Let's go to the next one. Carl Williams against Jimmy Lawson. What country is that? What flag is that?
Virgin
Islands.
Islands.
U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay. Odds on this one: -175 Lawson, +145 on Carl Williams. He's short notice, right?
Yeah, man. I think
What happened?
he was supposed to fight Savlarsky or something. A guy named Savlarsky. I don't know. It was announced on the broadcast. I don't know what happened. Why that fight doesn't get made. So.
Oh wow. Okay. Any thoughts on this one? Jimmy Lawson, obviously a good prospect. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I like Jimmy Lawson in this fight, man. I think he has more upside in this fight. Carl Williams taking a fight on short notice. I'm taking Lawson here. I think he wins. But
I gotta fix those odds in my opening odds article. I didn't know they switched the fight. I
okay.
I just saw this right now because I thought he was fighting the other guy still, Kevin Sarlovsky or whatever. Yeah,
I wonder why his age isn't there. By the way,
who?
Lawson.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I wonder how old he is. Right?
Yeah,
that's a good question. All right, one second. I'm just fixing this article here. Carl Williams. Okay, so Lawson opened -300 in this fight. I'm just double checking that. All right, let's get to the next one here. We only got 2 more fights left. Only 5. Yeah. Gabriel Bonfim against Trey Waters, 200 feet, you guys. This is an awesome fight. Odds on this one. Bonfim, I think, is favored here.
Yeah, for sure.
-330. Waters +275. What do you think?
Yeah, man, I think this Bonfim brother is going to win. You know, I don't think his other brother will win, but I like Gabriel going Bonfim in this one. So his fights in LFA look pretty decent. I think he got the 2 finishes there. Trey Weathers, I also think Trey Weathers is a short notice opponent. I think he was supposed to fight a guy named Klinkhammer or something, Bonfim. Mm-hmm. So Waters is also a short notice opponent. Don't know too much about Waters. It's one fight in LFA where he won against Benjamin Bennett, but I'm not too familiar with this dude. So yeah, I'm taking Gabriel Bonfim in this one.
Yeah, man. I mean, sorry, I should have pulled this up. These guys are both really good, though. I mean, from what I've seen, anyways. Bonfim, obviously, LFA guy, finishing dudes, looking good. And then Waters, also undefeated, but not as much experience. Odds seem a little high, honestly, because this guy's also looked good, but I got to go with Bonfim. And then the last fight, Rodolfo Bellato against Vidar Petrino. They've actually fought before.
Rematch.
Vidar knocked him out in 25 seconds a couple years ago. Now they're rematching. Petrino -145, Bellato +125. I guess you have to go with the guy who already knocked him out, right?
Yeah. Although the other guy, Bellato, isn't a bad fighter either.
No, he's looked good since he lost, right?
Yeah.
So,
but
another interesting fight. But I mean, how do you not pick him, right? You got
Yeah.
finished by him 3 years ago. Any other thoughts?
No, I'm picking Petrino. Yeah.
We have the same thoughts on that. I'm gonna get these comments quickly from you guys in the chat. We'll get out here in a sec. Bonfim Abasov's in the same fight, one of the best ever in Dana White Contender Series. It looks really good fight, man.
Should have been the main event, in my opinion.
Wasn't Abasov supposed to fight like last season, and then you got visa issue or
something like that.
I think I've heard of this like in before.
Oh, you're meaning Askabov, maybe?
Yeah, or maybe that's. Oh yeah, that's the other guy that's supposed to fight Herbert Burns, right?
Yeah.
Jeez, these guys have the same names. Ismail Bonfim keeps being favored to LFA. I'd like to see him both brothers win. I'm not sure he can beat Abasov. That's a hard fight, right? Definitely. Lawson said Sai Soma, who beat him in his debut, have the same boat photo. Oh yeah, I saw that. That is hilarious. Lawson's 30 according to Sherlock. He looks a little older, but that makes sense. Torrin Brown, what's up, man? How's it going? Vegan Song, great job, boys. Appreciate it, man. Thanks so much. That was fun, Marcel. We did the UFC 279 breakdown, Dana White's Contender Series. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Is there anything else you want to talk about quickly before we get out of here, Marcel? Was there any other news that we're forgetting about?
Thinking about it, not really. I think, man. No,
I think we got most stuff too. I mean, there was obviously some new fights announced, but we'll save that stuff. I think we're pretty talked out here too.
We can look around. That's 5 minutes. We still have five or 10. We can
pull up your thing. If you guys have any last second questions, throw them in there right now in the chat. We'll answer them. I'll just quickly
pull up my thing.
Yeah. Quickly, I'll go through.
Pull up my thing.
Pull up my thing. Oh my god, that doesn't sound right. All right. Yeah, Brady Highstand's fighting Fernie Garcia. I'm really high on Brady. By the way, it's hilarious. So I saw his nickname was Bam Bam too, and I'm like, holy fuck, how many Bam Bams are in the UFC? So we have 3 in the UFC right now, plus the guy in Contenders last week, Ivan Valenzuela. His nickname's Bam Bam too. So we have like 3.5 fighters with Bam Bam.
Still waiting for Pebbles.
Yeah. I thought, the women's division. I thought Fernie looked terrible in his debut, to be honest with you. Against what's that guy's name again?
Jordan Newsom.
Yeah, I thought he looked so bad in that fight. I was surprised. I think Brady's legit. I think he wins. I don't know. You have any thoughts on this? I think
kind of 50-50 on it, man. I think Fernie is pretty good, not going to lie, and Brady's good as well. So, two fun prospects, both lost their first fight. I still don't know who I'm going with, but I think it's a fun fight. It's a good matchup. Both guys were for the first win in the UFC. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Just a couple other ones. I think we did a lot last week. I don't think we talked about this fight. Jennifer Maia's fighting Marina Rose. Rose was to fight Eubanks, right? That fight got canceled. Hopefully this fight stays intact. Rose looked great in her last fight, but Maia's got a lot of experience against like elite competition. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd favor Maia, but I don't know. It's pretty competitive. Any thoughts quickly?
Kind of weird matchmaking, man. Number 8 against non-ranked, So, I don't know. Marina Moroz sometimes surprises me, and then she really looks bad, and then she surprises me again. With Jennifer Maia, also very inconsistent in my opinion. Came from Invicta, big hype behind her, and she only got 4 wins in 9 UFC fights, so it's not like she's done amazing.
I know. Less than 500 record, like Jordan. Talked about that one already. Did we talk about this one? I don't think so. Bruno Silva against Albert Dorev. I love this fight. This is a great fight.
It's a very good matchup. Yeah.
Listen, Bruno looked horrible in his last fight, but I still would favor him here. Really.
Can you do me a favor? Can you read up the notable wins on Durayev's record, which I put there?
Sergey Kondosko, Ustar Magomed Gadzhidadov, and Vladislav Vasilevsky. It's not bad, right? I did it pretty good.
Very well. Yeah.
My Russian pronunciation is not horrible. I think Bruno should be favored here, right? Because Durayev's looked pretty bad, but I mean, I don't know. Hard to trust him after that last
very difficult. Also, Bruno looked very bad against Mershart, so it's like really close, 50-50 to me.
I know. It's a couple other ones. Billy Q and Alexander Hernandez at 145.
How is Alexander Hernandez going to make featherweight?
I don't know, but you got to favor Billy Q.
Yeah.
You have to. Yeah. Elkins and Pierce, another good fight. I don't know. I mean, Elkins, I pick against him all the time and he wins, so I'm not even going to bother picking this fight. JSPs look good. I guess I would favor JSP, but again, Elkins always beats me. So, and I think that's it because I want to say we talked about these fights. Didn't we talk about these last week? Maybe
Perez Albazi, we did in that thing.
Yeah, Perez and Albazi. I got to favor Albazi, right? Got to.
I don't know, man.
Perez is good.
Perez, but Perez, his last 2 fights, dude. I mean,
submission defense sucks, dude.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna get submitted again. That's what I think happens here. Penne and Ricci, your girl. I mean. She's good. She's definitely good. Yeah, I mean, Ricci should win this fight. I think the odds are on she's a favorite.
Yeah.
Melsick,
fun fight.
Hey, we talked about this one already.
Yeah, fun fight.
Yeah, it's a fun one. Just a couple other comments, guys. KSW, fun title fighting card this weekend. I saw, what's his name? Darko Stosic is fighting on that card. That's good. He's been killing it. Phil DeFries as well.
I want to talk about one thing. Bellator. Denis Sabatello against Rofeon Stotts. What are your thoughts about that one?
It's in December, so I still have 3 months, thankfully, to think about it. I think it's a pretty competitive fight, man. Stotts is more well-rounded, but Sabatello's got good wrestling. I would favor Stotts, I think, but it's tough. I feel the same way, yeah. And this Darren Till thing, I saw this as well. This parent DUI, but it was in the summer. I want to say it was a few months ago. Also, apparently in Sweden, the limit's like way lower. Like, so it's not like the same as it was in the States or something, or Canada, but still not good.
Gotta stay busy. Just kidding. Obviously, it's not good.
No, it's not good at all. All right, I think that's it for today's podcast. We're good. Plug your stuff, man. Let's get out of here. And appreciate you guys who joined the chat today. It's always a lot of fun to talk about the fights with you guys. We'll be back next Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern. We'll be recapping UFC 279. Then we'll preview UFC Vegas 60, Sanhagen vs. Song. Marcel, plug yourself. Let's get out of here.
Big Marcel24 on Twitter and Instagram, and you can see my articles. It's in Dutch, so you don't have shit on it. But Eurosport.nl, mixed martial arts section.
Follow me on Twitter at MMAOB Podcast, MMAOBsmaker.com. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about it, guys. Always fun doing the podcast with you guys. Always like the back and forth. Bookies.com, my best bets. Miami News for latest fight news. And MMAOBsmaker.com for all your opening odds and your betting information. So you guys have a great week. We'll be back next Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Labor Day and talk to you guys soon. Take care.